Let's talk about functioning labels and why they're actually a problem when used with reference to autism. You may have heard autistic people referred to as high or low functioning, but that's actually a problem, and in this video I'll be explaining why. Firstly, if you've seen my video about neuroforestry and the social model of disability, function labels cannot exist when looking at it from a social model perspective. When looking at it from a social model perspective, no person is inherently more or less functional than others. It's not a medical deficit, it's a social mismatch. And you can watch that video for more information on that topic. Secondly, functionality is, you talk about tools, you talk about things in terms of their functionality. You don't talk about people in terms of their functionality. A person is not to be judged simply in terms of how much they can produce, in terms of how much they can make, in terms of how many products they can do or how well they can follow social norms. A person should be judged based on a person should not be judged is the issue, and the way that autistic people face judgment for simply being who we are is a very serious problem. And the third thing is that it's really polarizing. It kind of, throws autistic people into two distinct groups when in reality we're much more complex than just that. Like either we're entirely high functioning or entirely low functioning, which is almost never the case, if at all. Most people who are autistic cannot do all the things associated with high functioning autistic people and can do more than what is expected of a low functioning autistic person. Again, I'm just using those two terms as an example, but you get my point. There are many autistic people with low support needs who are able to live independently, drive a car, hold down a job, but they may have extreme difficulty with organizational skills, social skills, and executive function. There are autistic people who are professors at universities who cannot drive a car. There are autistic people who are massively intelligent but cannot speak and cannot control their bodies. So as you can tell, no autistic person is entirely high functioning or entirely low functioning. Actually, there's a good article on Neuroclastic about this. David Gray Hammond, I think it was, compiled it. And the topic of the article, or the title, if I'm not mistaken, is "Functioning Labels Are a Myth." And then the fifth thing that I would mention is that the standard that people with invisible disabilities are subjected to, which is that we are expected to act normal, else we are judged very harshly for our differences. Many people say to autistic people with low support needs, "Oh, you don't look autistic," or "You look totally normal," or "You're fine," or "You're just using it as an excuse." Thankfully, this is happening less and less, but it's still a serious problem when the attitudes behind those statements, the root causes behind those statements, are still very much a part of just cultural lexicon, I feel like. And I, as an autistic person who has low support needs and is perceived as high functioning, I'm expected to act normal, and people will judge me if I don't act normal. And that actually leads me to another point, which is really the people who society perceives as high functioning are in fact in many cases functioning in falsehood. They have the ability, the privilege, to pass as someone who they're not. That in turn reveals another problem. You just heard what I said. Privilege to pass as someone you are not. Why is that a form of privilege? Why is it a form of privilege? Why does it actually gain you more rewards and benefits from society to appear to be neurotypical? Why doesn't appearing autistic give you the same dignity and the same respect? Think about that. Really, think about that. Anyways, in conclusion, I'd just like to say people are people. Autistic people are just autistic people. We all have our own needs. We have our own we have our own supports, and we all, whatever we need is okay, and it's part of who and what we are. Thanks for watching.